Very good morning to everybody. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizer for inviting me to come to Bahrain to share what we have done in Singapore in terms of, I will not say HSE, but rather safety and health, because my portfolio doesn't cover the environmental issue, but I think it's something that is relevant to everybody here. Just a short brief of what Singapore is. Now, this is where Singapore is. It's a little island right at the tip of the Malayan Peninsula, southern part of Malaysia. And in fact, Bahrain and Singapore have a lot of things in common. Both are small. It's a small island, and I think our land area, about 720 square kilometers, is almost the same size as Bahrain, I think. And the population is very multiracial and multicultural. It's 5.54 million, comprising of Chinese, Malay, Indians, and also Eurasians and foreigners working in Singapore. And our labor force is 3.61 million, of which 38% are non-residents. I mean, we have a lot of migrant workers, foreigners working in Singapore in different sectors of the economy. Now, let me just bring you back to 2004, which triggered us to change a lot of things in terms of workplace safety and health. In 2004, we have 4 high-profile workplace accidents, which claimed 13 lives. And these have badly shaken the public's confidence in workplace safety and health standards in Singapore. And public have raised the expectation for higher standards of safety and health to ensure that no further loss of life happen at the workplace. And also, we have been noticing that our safety and health standards have stagnated for the past few years prior to 2004. And what happened was that a high-level study mission was conducted by the Ministry of Manpower in late 2004, early 2005, and is led by the Minister for Manpower, accompanied by the Permanent Secretary, the Deputy Secretary, and also the Commissioner for Workplace Safety and Health, to look at what other countries were doing to bring workplace safety and health to a higher level. And the trip covered visit to Finland, UK, France, and Germany. And upon that visit, I think the minister at that time was Dr. Ng Hian. He gave a ministerial statement at the parliament, and he said that the government has been concerned about workplace safety for some time. Through various measures, we have reduced the number of accidents and deaths at workplaces over the past 10 years. But recently, safety standards have stagnated. And through the study visit that they have done, the Ministry of Manpower has formulated a new roadmap, a new framework and roadmap to improve the safety culture and achieve a quantum leap in safety standards. And we did a comparison of our fatality rates with the other countries, developed countries. And Singapore stands at 4.9 fatality per 100,000 employed workers. And we compare to Sweden, UK, and Australia, we are more than 200%. We are higher by a lot. And what we want to aspire to do is to be able to improve our safety standards and to reduce the fatality rate to as good as what the developed country has achieved. Okay, there's some alignment problem. So what you can see here is, through the new framework and the new roadmap that we had, our workplace fatality rate from 2005 to 2006, you can see that it was at 4.0 in 2005, and last year it has dropped all the way to 1.9, 52% improvement. Now, how did we achieve this in a space of 11 years? This is our journey, which is still ongoing since 2005. In 2005, as I mentioned, the minister at the ministerial statement in Parliament announced the new framework. And then in 2006, we changed our old Factories Act to a new act called WSH Act, which I'll explain later what is it about. We came out with national strategy for the workplace safety and health in Singapore. There was a version 2015, and then it went to an enhanced version in WSH 2018. And one major thing that we did was we have this formation of the Workplace Safety and Health Council, which I'll explain later what is it for. Now, what was key is that we launched a new framework in 2005, which has 3 key principles. Firstly, reduce risk at source. I think we realized that it is important that the creator of the risk should be responsible to address it and to take measures to eliminate or mitigate it. Regulators are not in the position to do that because we don't face this challenge in our day-to-day operation. The creator of the risk, that means the employers, the chemical plants and all that. So there is a need to impose duties on those who create the risk, and they will have to be liable for failure to address the risk. And this emphasized the importance of a good workplace safety and health management system at the workplace. The other key principle is about greater industry ownership of WSH. I think regulators are there to ensure that everybody know what the legal requirements are, and we do inspections on certain sectors to ensure that they comply with it. But the day-to-day running of good workplace safety and health system and all that, making sure that the workplace is safe and healthy for the employees, rests on the employers, the industry. So they have to take ownership, and they should not be waiting for regulators to check on them for compliance. And likewise, the law is not going to give you every specific rules to comply with. Industry have to take responsibility of all those rules and regulations to make it safe for the employees. And I think if many of you have gone to Singapore, many visitors call Singapore a fine country, because if people do not comply with the law, we fine you. So we have this principle that if you have given enough warnings, you do not comply with the law, then we hit your pockets where it hurts most for businesses. So higher penalties for poor safety management. Now these are the 3 key principles that underlies our new framework. Excuse me. So using these 3 key principles, we amended our old Factories Act, which was very back to 1973, and came up with a new Workplace Safety and Health Act 2006, which came into effect on 1st March 2006. And this new regulation, which I mentioned yesterday or so, is a performance-based regulation, because it doesn't specify, it doesn't give prescriptive requirement of what you need to do as an employer to make your workplace safe for your employee. It imposes a general duty to take reasonable, practicable measures to protect persons at work. So it is for the employer to know what are their risks. What should they do? Implement the control measures and make it safe. So they have to demonstrate that they've done their due diligence in doing risk assessment, putting in place a management system, and making sure that the day-to-day operation is safe for the employee. So it's focused on effective management of workplace safety and health to achieve a safe outcome, instead of prescribing rules. Oops, sorry. Okay. The other thing about the Act is it had a better defined liability regime. That means not just employers, but other stakeholders in the value chain do have responsibility to contribute to workplace safety and health. That includes manufacturers, suppliers of equipment, subcontractors, supervisors, and everybody. So the new Act have a better defined liability regime. And I think it also strengthened the personal liability of the people at work. And that means directors, CEOs, and managers of company, they have responsibility under the Act. and failure to do so can lead to prosecution actions or fines being given to them. And to support the new act, we came up with a very simple risk management regulation in September 2006. And this simple regulation required the employer to conduct risk assessment prior to commencement of work. The whole idea is reduce risk at source. And having identified the risk, take steps to eliminate the risk. If not possible, mitigate it by implementing appropriate risk control measures. And of course, having done this, it doesn't make sense if you don't communicate the identified risk, the control measures, and the work procedure to the people doing the work, because they are the one that's going to execute the work. So they must know the risk, the control measures, and the way to do it safely. Having been given those information, then they can do the work safely. And that is the responsibility of the employer before work commences. So this risk management regulations support the intent of the first two principles: reduce risk at source, greater industry ownership. That is on the part of the legislation. As I mentioned, we came out with a national strategy for workplace safety and health in Singapore. There was a version 2015, but it was enhanced to 2018. I'll give the reason why 2015 and then became 2018. But this national strategy has a national wish vision for Singapore, which is safe and healthy workplace for everyone, country renowned for best practices in WSH, and is supported by the three key principles that I mentioned earlier. And it has 4 strategic outcomes: reduction in workplace fatality injury rates, WSH being seen as an integral part of business. That means it's a business case to do workplace safety and health. And Singapore is being renowned as a center of excellence for WSH. And I think we believe that you must have the right safety culture, which is progressive and pervasive among the industry. And 3 entities are set up to ensure that this national strategy is being implemented and is producing the results. And the regulator, of course, is where I come from, the Ministry of Manpower, Occupational Safety and Health Division. We look at the legislation, policies, we conduct inspections to check for compliance, we take company to task for failure to do so. A WSH Council was also formed to ensure to support this national strategy, which is the industry partner. I will give. Yeah.
1 minute.
Okay. So the other one is the institute, which is doing research work. So this is the council that was established in 2008, comprising of 17 leaders from the industry. And it has 3 important functions: build industry capability to manage WSH, set established WSH practices, promote safety and health at work, and recognize company with good industry practices and record. Now, yesterday I talked about BSAFE program. This is a very important program to help SME to build risk management capability. It's a 5-step program, and I was saying that there is government funding to help companies to build up their expertise. Okay. Let me just go directly to the key success factor. Why were we able to bring fatality rate drop by 50% from 4 to 1.9? One important thing is visible commitment and strong support by the government to provide strong national WSH governance. And you can see that in 2008, our Prime Minister was the guest of honor, and this is what he said: each time somebody was maimed or killed, it was a tragedy for the worker and his family. This was on our conscience. We should aim to have at least one of the best safety records in the world. I think with the highest support from the government, I think that is the best thing you can get from anybody in the government. And we do need to submit half-yearly report to the cabinet on the status of Singapore WSH performance. The other success factor is strong tripartite alliance. Government, employer, unions, working together to address issues and co-create solutions. On the slides, you can see these three signatures. One is Employers Federation, Union, and the regulator. And the photo you see there are the people in these three entities. And I think another two success factor is that we are willing to learn from others. We did study trip to Finland, UK, as I mentioned. We also went to Australia and Hong Kong to learn from them, to adapt what they have done, and to bring it back to Singapore. And we have also an international advisory panel comprising renowned foreign experts to come to Singapore to meet every 2 years to review our WSH 2018 progress and also deliberate and critique our next steps. The photo you see there is the last meeting that they had in August last year. And the final success factor is that we have a strong willingness to adapt and change when things don't happen as planned and have gone wrong. In late 2015, 2016, our fatality number went up suddenly. And we did a review, and we fine-tuned our WSH 2018 with a new program called 2018 Plus to address the issues that we have identified for this and the next year. And finally, let me just say that Singapore this year will be hosting the 21st World Congress on Safety and Health at Work on 3rd to 6th September. It's a conference whereby organized by International Labour Organization, Ministry of Manpower, and the International Social Security Association. And Singapore is hosting this this year from 3rd to 6th September. And I'll be very happy to invite all of you to attend, to join this conference, because we are expecting about 3,500 safety and health experts and practitioners at this Congress coming from 140 countries. And seeing what you all have done for the last 2 days, I would say that you have a lot of things to share at the World Congress too, and to let the rest of the world know that in this area, you are doing also a lot for HSE Excellence. Thank you very much.